Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Podcast Every Day.
We are so happy you are here with us today.
Today, we are discussing whether people learn better alone or in groups.
This is a great topic because everyone learns differently, and different tasks need different study styles.
Exactly, studying alone can help with focus and deep thinking, while group learning can help with motivation and discussion.
For English learners, this topic is perfect for practicing opinions, comparisons, and balanced arguments.
We will learn useful vocabulary for independent study, group learning, accountability, feedback, and learning preferences.
You will hear two realistic conversations where people plan how to study more effectively.
We will also compare simple B1 language with stronger B2 English for discussing learning habits.
So imagine you are preparing for an exam, a presentation, a language test, or a new workplace skill.
Let us begin with the key language for talking about how people learn best.
Before our first conversation, let us learn how to compare studying alone and learning in groups in a balanced way. The question of learning alone or in groups sounds simple, but it is actually very personal.
Some people need silence to understand difficult material, while others learn faster when they explain ideas out loud.
And the best method can change depending on the subject.
For example, grammar practice may need quiet focus, but speaking practice often improves with partners.
Our first key phrase is independent study. Independent study means learning by yourself, usually with your own schedule and materials.
For example, independent study helps me review vocabulary at my own pace.
Another example is, independent study is useful when I need to concentrate on difficult reading.
Our second phrase is group learning. Group learning means studying with other people, sharing ideas, and helping each other understand.
For example, group learning is helpful when we need to discuss different possible answers.
Or group learning gives me more speaking practice because I have to explain my opinion.
Our third phrase is at my own pace. This means at a speed that feels right for you.
For example, I like studying alone because I can go at my own pace.
Another example is, in a group, I sometimes feel rushed, but alone I can review slowly.
Our fourth phrase is stay accountable. To stay accountable means someone or something helps you keep your promise and continue working.
For example, a study group helps me stay accountable because I know other people are waiting for me.
Or I use a study schedule to stay accountable when I study alone.
Our fifth phrase is get feedback. Feedback is advice, comments, or reactions that help you improve.
For example, in a group, I can get feedback on my pronunciation immediately.
Another example is, feedback helps me notice mistakes I would not catch on my own.
The useful point is that alone and in groups are not enemies.
Yes, many strong learners use both methods, but they use them for different purposes.
A common mistake is saying, I learn better alone, so groups are useless.
A better sentence is, I prefer independent study for focus, but group learning helps me get feedback and stay motivated.
In our first conversation, Michael and Nicole discuss how to prepare for a language exam using both study styles. Now let us listen to Michael and Nicole plan how to study alone and in a group for an upcoming language exam.
Nicole, have you started studying for the language exam yet?
Yes, but I am still trying to decide whether to study alone or join a group.
I have been thinking about the same thing. I like independent study because I can go at my own pace.
That is true. When I study alone, I can repeat a grammar point 5 times if I need to.
Exactly. No one is waiting for me to move on.
But I also notice that I avoid speaking practice when I study alone.
That happens to me too. Reading and grammar are easier to do alone, but speaking needs another person.
A study group could help us get feedback on pronunciation and fluency.
Yes, and it could help us stay accountable.
That is a big benefit. If I know people are expecting me, I am less likely to skip practice.
My only worry is that group study can become social time instead of study time.
That is true. A group needs structure or it can waste time.
Maybe we should separate the tasks.
What do you mean?
We could do independent study for vocabulary, grammar, and listening exercises.
And group learning for speaking, mock questions, and explaining difficult topics.
Exactly. That way we get the benefits of both.
I like that. We could study alone during the week and meet as a group on Saturday.
The group session should have a clear agenda.
Yes, maybe 30 minutes for speaking practice, 20 minutes for questions, and 10 minutes for feedback.
That sounds efficient. It would stop the group from becoming too casual.
And before the group meeting, everyone should prepare one topic to explain.
That is smart. Teaching a topic helps you understand it better.
Exactly. If I cannot explain it clearly, I probably do not understand it fully yet.
Should we invite more people or keep the group small?
I think small is better. 3 or 4 people is enough for discussion, but not too many to manage.
Good point. A huge group might be distracting.
So our plan is independent study during the week and focused group learning on Saturday.
Yes, with an agenda, speaking practice and feedback.
That feels balanced. We can go at our own pace and still stay accountable.
Agreed, it is not alone versus group. It is alone plus group.
Let us analyze how Michael and Nicole created a balanced study plan using both independent study and group learning. Michael said he likes independent study because he can go at his own pace.
That phrase is very useful. At my own pace means at a speed that works for me.
Nicole gave a clear example. She said she can repeat a grammar point 5 times if she needs to.
That is a real strength of studying alone. You control the speed, the focus, and the order.
But Nicole also noticed a weakness. She avoids speaking practice when she studies alone.
That is where group learning becomes helpful. Speaking, discussion, and feedback often need other people.
They used Get Feedback to describe comments that help them improve pronunciation and fluency.
Fluency means speaking more smoothly, with fewer long pauses and less hesitation.
They also talked about staying accountable.
A group can help you stay accountable because other people expect you to show up and prepare.
But they did not ignore the problem of group study becoming too casual.
That is important. Group learning works best when it has structure.
They created an agenda: 30 minutes for speaking, 20 minutes for questions, and 10 minutes for feedback.
An agenda is a plan for what will happen during a meeting or study session.
Their final idea was powerful. It is not alone versus group. It is alone plus group.
That is a very B2 way to think. Instead of choosing one side completely, they matched the method to the task.
The big pattern is identify the task, choose the best method, add structure, and review progress.
When you use that pattern, learning becomes more intentional and less random. Now let us learn how to discuss motivation, distractions, learning environment, and personal preference in more advanced English. In the first half, we compared independent study and group learning for exam preparation.
Now we will go deeper into motivation and environment, because even a good method can fail in the wrong setting.
Some people study alone but get distracted. Some people study in groups but feel too shy to speak.
So today, we need phrases that help us describe learning conditions, not just learning preferences.
Our first new phrase is stay focused. This means keep your attention on what you are trying to do.
For example, I study alone because I stay focused better in a quiet room.
Another example is I stay focused in a group when we have a clear agenda.
Our second phrase is bounce ideas off someone. This means share ideas with another person and hear their reactions.
For example, I like group learning because I can bounce ideas off other people.
Or, before a presentation, I need someone to bounce ideas off so I can organize my thoughts.
Our third phrase is learning environment. This means the place, people, noise level, tools, and atmosphere around learning.
For example, my learning environment affects how much information I remember.
Another example is a noisy learning environment makes it hard for me to study alone.
Our fourth phrase is learn by explaining. This means you understand something better when you explain it to someone else.
For example, I learn by explaining grammar rules to a study partner.
Or if I can explain the idea clearly, I know I understand it.
Our fifth phrase is personal preference. This means what one person naturally likes or finds comfortable.
For example, studying alone is my personal preference, but I still join groups for speaking practice.
Or group learning is my personal preference because discussion keeps me motivated.
A common mistake is saying, groups are best for everyone.
A better version is group learning works well for discussion, but independent study may be better for deep focus.
In our second conversation, Adam and Sky compare two learning environments and decide how to prepare for a workplace presentation. Now Adam and Sky will discuss whether to practice a presentation alone or with a group for better results.
Sky, I need to prepare for a presentation next week, and I am not sure how to practice.
Do you usually practice alone or with other people?
Usually alone. It is my personal preference because I stay focused better without distractions.
That makes sense. Practicing alone can help you organize your ideas first.
Exactly. If I start in a group, I sometimes feel nervous before my ideas are clear.
Then maybe you should begin with independent practice.
That is what I thought, but I also need feedback.
You could practice alone first and then present to a small group.
That might work. I need people to tell me whether my main points are clear.
A group is helpful for that because listeners notice things you may miss.
True, when I practice alone, I know what I mean, so I assume everyone else will understand.
Exactly. That is why it helps to bounce ideas off someone.
I like that phrase. I need someone to bounce ideas off before the final version.
Would a big group make you more nervous?
Definitely. A big group would not be the right learning environment for me.
Then keep it small. Maybe two people who can give honest but kind feedback.
That sounds much better. I can stay focused and still get reactions.
Also, you might learn by explaining. When you explain your slides to someone else, weak parts become obvious.
That happens to me. Sometimes I think I understand an idea until I try to explain it.
That is normal. Explaining is a test of understanding.
So maybe my practice plan should have 3 stages.
What stages are you thinking about?
First, practice alone to organize the structure.
Good. What is the second stage?
Second, present to a small group and get feedback.
And the third.
Third, revise alone again so I can improve the weak parts at my own pace.
That is a strong plan. It uses both methods for different purposes.
I feel better already. I do not have to choose only one way.
Exactly. The best learning method is often the one that matches the task.
Thanks, Sky. I will start with solo practice tonight and ask for group feedback tomorrow.
That sounds practical. You will get focus first and feedback next.
Let us compare simple learning opinions with more natural B2 English for discussing studying alone and in groups. A B1 speaker might say, I study alone better.
The meaning is understandable, but the word order sounds a little unnatural.
A more natural sentence is, I study better alone.
A stronger B2 version is, I prefer independent study for focused tasks, but I find group learning useful for discussion and feedback.
That sentence is better because it explains when each method helps.
Another B1 sentence is, group study is good for all people.
A better version is, group study can be helpful for some learners, especially when they need feedback or motivation.
Can be and some learners make the sentence softer and more accurate.
Let us talk about softeners. Phrases like I tend to, for me, depending on the task, and in some situations help you avoid overgeneralizing.
Compare studying alone is always best with, for me, studying alone works best when I need deep focus.
The second sentence is more respectful because it describes your experience instead of making a rule for everyone.
Now a grammar fix. Say, learn from others, not learn with others from them in a confusing order.
You can say, I learn from others in a group, or I learn with others in a study group.
Another grammar fix is, I prefer studying alone, not I prefer study alone.
After prefer, use a noun or the ing form. I prefer quiet, I prefer studying alone.
For B2 English, use a balanced structure. On the one hand, studying alone allows focus and personal pace.
On the other hand, group learning provides feedback, accountability, and discussion.
Then add your conclusion. That is why I use independent study for review and group learning for practice.
The goal is not to prove one method is always better. The goal is to choose the right method for the right task. Let us review the vocabulary, grammar, and conversation strategies from today's episode about learning alone or in groups. Today, we learned how to discuss whether people learn better alone or in groups.
The main goal is to avoid extremes and match the study method to the learning task.
From the first part, remember independent study, group learning at my own pace, stay accountable, and get feedback.
In Conversation 1, Michael and Nicole planned independent study during the week and focused group learning on Saturday.
They learned that studying alone can support pace and focus, while group learning can support speaking practice and feedback.
From the second part, remember stay focused. Bounce ideas off someone, learning environment, learn by explaining, and personal preference.
In Conversation 2, Adam and Sky created a 3-stage plan for presentation practice.
Adam would practice alone first, present to a small group for feedback, and then revise alone at his own pace.
We compared B1 and B2 language. B1 says, I study alone better. B2 says, I prefer independent study for focused tasks, but group learning is useful for feedback.
For grammar, remember to say I study better alone, and I prefer studying alone.
Also remember, you can learn from others in a group or learn with others in a study group.
A strong learning discussion has 4 parts. Name the task, choose the method, explain the reason, and adjust if needed.
The main lesson is that effective learners often combine focus, feedback, structure, and flexibility.
Balanced English helps you explain your learning style clearly without saying one method is best for everyone.
That is all for today's episode of English Podcast Every Day.
We hope you feel more confident discussing learning alone, group learning, and study preferences in English.
This week, practice one balanced sentence about how you learn best.
Try saying, I prefer independent study for focus, but group learning helps me get feedback.
If this episode helped you, subscribe and listen again to practice the vocabulary, rhythm, and pronunciation.
Remember, learning is not one size fits all. The best method depends on the task, the goal, and the learner.
Thanks for listening, and we will see you in the next episode.